Hey, welcome back, YouTube. It's been a while. I've had a lot of stuff going on at work, so I haven't had much time to do anything. I'm starting off with some small stuff. So I got my work car here, and on the highway and stuff, it seems to sway a little bit more than I like. Um, so I am on the Chevy Volt. I am going to add a rear sway bar to it. It's pretty simple. Um, you got to just pull the springs out and take this little locator out here, and then there's one that's going to go in its place that allows you to put bolts in to hold the sway bar on. So in order to do that, I got them out already. You take the shock bolt out, it just threads right in there. There's no nut, it just screws right on both sides. And I have this here, and I'm just going to lower it down to a point where the springs have no tension, and I'll be able to just get this out of here. All right, so this is what's in there originally. From the bottom, you just take a long screwdriver or whatever you want, or extension, and just give it a couple whacks, and it'll just pop right out. And then all you got to do is put the other mount in there. So the new locators, the other ones are just hollow like caps. These are actually threaded. So you're going to put that up in here, and then you can bolt the sway bar from the bottom, and that's about it. So all I got to do is, I'm probably going to tap it down in there. So as you can see, there's a step. That step fits in that groove. So we'll tap it down in to get it going. Yank the other spring out and do the same thing on the other side. And then you just bolt the sway bar up. Okay, so I got the springs back in. So you got your threaded mounts there. They're tapped down in there. The shocks are bolted back on. So I do have a set of E-box springs for this. They're a little bit stiffer and supposed to lower the back about an inch, and the front. It should have, and some KYBs, but I'm waiting for the shocks. As you can see, these shocks are all original, so they're all rusty and stuff. So I'll be changing the front rear springs, and then also these sway bar end links. I got metal ones instead of these plastic ones. So at this point, all I have to do is get the sway bar up there. They want you to use Loctite and torque it to a certain spec. I'll let you know what that is when I look it up. Okay, so you got the mounts in there. I got Loctite in there. There was not a torque spec on the instructions, so I just tightened it tight. There's plenty of Loctite in there. This should never have to come off again, even when I change the springs out. This all moves together. So that's it. It tucks up in there, so there's no ground clearance issues. So that's all for that. The other thing I got going is rear brakes. Well, actually all the brakes. They're the originals. They get rusty because, as everyone knows, with the regen braking, these are okay, but I'm just going to change them all. With the regen braking, they don't get much use. So the pads get old. Sometimes they fall apart. So what we're going to do is change it all out to these slotted and drilled rotors that are nickel plated. So they'll never like rust. They'll always look like that. So that'll it won't look as crappy. So yeah, so I'm gonna get to that. I'll just show the end result because everybody pretty much knows how to do the brakes. These back brakes, you have to crank them in. Yeah, I mean, they're getting, I mean, there's a lot there, but that inside pad's a little worn more than the other. This one's about even. But yeah. One other thing I forgot that I'm going to address. This here. I know I'm going to be dropping her down a little bit. I mean, this thing hits everything. I have the shorter one that GM sold. I'm going to change this out because this one's all beat up, the original. You know, people say it's for cooling, but there ain't no way because if it hits this air dam, it's just going to go down. It isn't going to, it's to push the air down under the car or around it because there is no way. You got this upper lip here, and there's the condenser for the AC and the air conditioner behind it. So, yeah. So I'm going to go get that thing and change that too before I lower it down for these brakes. So as you can see in comparison, it's like about an inch shorter or maybe a little more. So that should help quite a bit. Okay, well, there you go. There you have it. There's a new one. It's quite a bit shorter. And they do give you all new screws to put it back. So that was good. I mean, the old ones were fine too, but this should eliminate the scraping issue. I mean, there's quite a bit of a difference with this old one here. I mean, there you go. So, I'm going to get on with these brakes and just give you a show of them right when I'm done with it. Okay, here's the back. I just wanted to show a quick thing here with the caliper. So this has got that style that has the crank in there. You see those two little grooves in here. There's a spot here and there. So I don't have the tool for it, so you can put needle nose in there and just push in and crank it at the same time, and you'll get that to go in without having to buy that tool. It went in pretty easy, so it's totally doable. I mean, I didn't have to fight it or nothing. So I just thought I'd share that real quick. Okay, so it's all done. So here you go. And I know what some people are going to say. They might say, hey, they're supposed to be going the other way, but you can look up like a million different places and they're going to tell you that it doesn't matter which way it goes. It just matters which way the cooling fins are in the rotor. Now, the back rotors are solid, so it doesn't really matter with that. But these rotors here, the front ones, are just like these, and they're straight fins internally. So you can have them on any way you want to have them. But they do look a whole lot better sitting in there than those rusty wheels. And these will pretty much stay looking like that all the time. So that's what we had up in there. And they're starting to get pretty rusty there. So that's gonna be it with this project for now. I'm just waiting for the struts. They're like on back order or something. So as soon as I get them, I'll be putting the springs and the struts on so I can just be done with it. That's all there is to do to it. As you saw earlier, the struts are all rusted up and shit. So I can tell when I go over decent dips in the road that it's dropping down a lot more than it should be. So it's time. I mean, they look original. They got the GM sticker still. So it's going to be some KYB shocks and struts and the Ebach 1-inch drop springs, but are a little stiffer. So shouldn't be an issue. So until next time, if you like what you saw, to hit the subscribe button. I promise I will be getting to the TRX. It has been, I'm waiting for some stuff for that too, and with work and everything, it's been a pain. So, and I got some stuff going on with the Mustang also. So, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Okay, so as far as the sway bar goes, I did take a test drive with it, and even with the worn out struts and shocks, it's a noticeable difference in the sway. You know, you're jerking the wheel back and forth or taking a corner. It did make quite a bit of a difference. So if you're trying to reduce sway or anything like that, that will work for you. I imagine it's going to be even better once I get new struts, springs, and stuff on it. So, and the brakes feel, I mean, pretty good. So, compared to before, I'm not really sure. I didn't jam on them before, but this thing really stops good. So, no issues with that either.